Well, hey there. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of How to Sleep with a Chinese Spy. How to Paint Like a Feminist. I'm your host, John Ross, and we've got a special little treat for you today. We're going to go ahead and take some submissions of the fan mail you've been sending down there in the comments, and we're going to go ahead and give them a little looky-loo. So come on with an adventure, and let's go see what people's imaginations can create. So real quick, we're going to give a big shout out to our show sponsors, BigDBag.com. That's right. It's not a Joe Biden company, although it does sound like it. It's actually a subscription-based model that sends you dude gear every month. And just by signing up quarterly and using code BURKE, you can get your hands on a handy-dandy free knife. And check it out. There's a picture. Which side are we putting that picture on? This side? Okay, there you go. There's your knife. That's a beautiful knife. So, make sure to check them out. Click the link down below and tell them I sent you. All right, let's get started. Fun fact, John doesn't actually make those faces voluntarily. He's actually having a stroke when he comprehends how hypocritical the left is. Well, he's not wrong. When you look at some of these things like the Green New Deal from AOC and Nancy Pelosi out there hopping a knee with a little African towel around her neck, it just makes you wonder, is the whole world just going crazy, or am I just smoking crack? Hunter Biden, I need you to give me a call. I need a dealer. Paul McCann writes, so how many dead is okay for you? Right now, we sitting at 300,000 plus and increasing more than 2,000 a day. How many of your friends and family are you willing to sacrifice on your altar of freedom? Well, Paul, that's a great question. I think we should go ahead and rephrase that in a manner that's more fitting and understandable for mental midgets such as yourself. How many people have to die before I'm willing to sacrifice mine or somebody else's liberty just so you can feel safe? All of them. Your kids, your grandparents, your brother, your sister, your cousin that you're having sexual relations with. Every single one of them. Does that offend you? Good, because I don't care. Ben Harpold writes, oh, he's a Trump supporter. ... See you later. Well, Ben, I'm actually a constitutional supporter. I don't support Trump and I don't support Biden. I support the individual policies proposed by the legislative branch and the executive branch for the benefit of everyday Americans like you and myself. I don't align myself with a strict party. I align myself with the document that provides our freedom that our forefathers fought and bled for. Now, I know that's a hard concept for Republicans and Democrats to comprehend, but I don't vote based upon party loyalty. I think for myself. How in the heck does he pull these hilariously truthful skits off and remain naturally sexy? Submitted by Miss Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones, we got a thing going on. We both know that it's wrong. Hi Yem writes, bless you, hackiest hack I've ever seen. Wow, so unfunny. It's so not funny that I'm embarrassed for the guy. I've only seen this 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways. Well, I am. That is kind of a good point that the John Ross is a parody. I just broke the fourth wall. But I guess I'll give that some thought when I sell this next painting and probably make more than you do off my YouTube sales and monetization than you will all month. Laughing all the way to the bank. Bless you again. Chase Ryan writes, I'm not sure if any of you Trump-tards realize this, but communists and socialists are more pro-gun than you are. What? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the left. XGrim13X writes, I swear this is legitimately how all Trump supporters act, LOL. Trump is Jesus and the Democrats are the devil. But in reality, it's simply not that black and white, and Trump is certainly no Jesus, LOL. there's just so much to respond to in that. Well, when you say the Democrats are the devil, I mean, you support a party that is for the outward support of the murdering of babies, unborn children, and stripping away their potential rights just because you want to shirk off responsibility. And I know before you get your stirrups in a twist out there, all the feminists in the OBGYN stirrups, the percentage of rape that you're going to utilize as your example to legitimize all abortions is in less than the 3% group. You're trying to take a minority and make it the majority of your argument, and it just doesn't work. Well, it's kind of funny to me that you say it's not so black and white, but Democrats have been using black people as their political pawn since, well, pretty much the founding of the KKK, ergo the Democratic Party. But it kind of is that black and white sometimes. And Trump is certainly no Jesus. Well, I don't think I can pull up a video or a post on my Instagram or anything else out there where I said that Trump is Jesus, or that I even compared him to Jesus. Because what you just did is you generalized. You generalized an entire group of people based upon the fact that you just don't like me in my videos. Wasn't that kind of like what the BLM doesn't like, which is what the Democratic Party supports? But yet you turn around and do it to white conservatives. Weird. Nick Darris writes, the death toll projected to reach 450K by mid-2021, even with a vaccine. But sure, masks are useless. And this guy's video has somehow saved someone's life. What a pathetic joke. Well, it's funny that you say that in a mocking tone that masks are useless when the CDC has actually came out and flip-flopped more times than Joe Biden on homosexuality, marriage, and segregation of black and white people. But they actually came out and said the masks don't work. How do I know this? Because I wear masks when I'm told to go out because the government wants to infringe upon my civil liberties, and I still got the COVID. Weird how that works. But your 450,000 statistic that you wanted to throw out there of possible COVID deaths by mid-2021 certainly pales in comparison to the millions upon millions of out-of-work and unemployed Americans that are struggling to make ends meet because of a tyrannical government that wants to enforce shutdowns because sheep like you are afraid, once again, of contracting a virus with a 99% survivability rating. So please tell me more about how 450,000 deaths somehow justifies ruining the American economy and making it difficult for families to provide for their children. Businesses that are the backbone of America go under financially, yet large-scale corporations such as Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, they've all remained open. So please, take your death statistic and your comparisons and give them to people that actually care. I don't. Bean writes, SNL should be taking notes because this guy is funnier than the entire cast since 2000. Well, when you got people like Pete Davidson that kind of look like a walking human herpy out there making fun of small business owners wanting to open up to support their families and making fun of combat wounded veterans and Navy SEALs, and got dumped by Ariana Grande and has the looks of somebody that kicked him in the balls and his eyes bugged out, or like one of those little fish in those Asian restaurants in the fish tanks that just kind of look at you like this. I'd say, yeah, you're probably right. I am funnier than all of them. Jay Whitney says, best channel I've found in a while, and it's gone. Well, that's why you can follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. White Bread writes, tell the truth. You'd suck off Trump to get him 4 more years, wouldn't you? Well, White Bread, that's actually a really good question to ask, and it certainly sounds like it's not rooted in homosexual tendencies whatsoever by you projecting what you're secretly covering deep down inside. But I think I would have to answer with a resounding yes. I would rather take Trump's perfectly tanned or spray tanned penis into my mouth and deep throat those crib babies versus having Biden pop up behind me, sniffing me like a little school child, anally inserting himself into me with that 52% tax hike. Because basic economics kind of proves over and over again that when you try and tax the rich heavier, the rich leave, ergo leaving local economies to fend for themselves where the middle class gets hit the hardest, simply to support the lower class. If you understood basic economics, you would understand why Biden is probably not the best choice out there. And I'm certainly not saying Trump is the best option, but certainly you can understand why Biden is probably the worst choice of the two, because at least Trump got himself where he is at by being a good businessman, as opposed to Biden and Kamala, who she herself actually got to the top by sucking people off. So we'd like to thank you for tuning in to watch this video, and Make sure you check out the links down below to our sponsors. I'd like to thank BigDBag.com, and make sure you follow me on Instagram at JohnBurke1 and Twitch at TheJohnBurke. And you can also bid on this beautiful painting I've done behind me. I'm gonna take the profits from this and go out there and buy as many masks as I can and then burn them, because I can. Freedom.